To work with Hasty Lace templates, you need 4 things. 1, the template. The template's made out of heavy plastic. It has holes that have been cut in the front of it with a laser. The label is on the front side, and if you're embossing, you want to use the template only from the front side. The back side has a little bit smaller holes, and they don't give you as nice a dot as you would get if you were using the front. In order to have better contrast to see the dots, I like to put a piece of black paper underneath my template. Now we can come in a little bit closer so you can see what's going on. We're going to use 17-pound vellum. It's quite a thin vellum, and it goes over the top of the template like this. The other thing we use is a 1mm embossing tool, and this fits exactly into these holes. All I'm going to do is press into the holes with the tool, and that will give me the little dots that will form the pattern. Let's get a little closer. You can tape the paper down if you like, or whatever, and stick it down so it doesn't tear this thin vellum. And now I'm going to take the embossing tool, and wherever I see a dot here in the template, I'm just going to push. Let's get a little closer. So you can probably see as I'm pushing into these little holes in the template, the paper is getting pushed into the holes and stretched as it's doing that, and that turns this vellum a white color. And those white dots are what is going to give me the pattern. So I'm just going to do this little leaf here and show you what it looks like. So now I'm turning it over, and this is the front side. So it has little bumps, kind of like braille or something, and that's what makes the design show up. So I'm going to do just part of this design. I'm going to do the part in this little part in the center. I'm not going to do these outer pieces, just for a shorter project, so you can see it from start to finish. So now I'm just continuing. You don't have to use every dot on the pattern, which I'm not doing since I'm not using those corner areas. But you can also, for example, over on this part here, I could go up here and go around the outside, and then decide, I'll do those, I'll do these, I'll do these corners, so I can leave it open like that. I can fill it in a little bit more and have just a little tiny hole. So you can see the difference between the two. So small adjustment can make a pretty large looking difference in your design. So I'll go ahead and finish this up off camera, and I'll be back. While I'm working, I'd like to mention a little bit about holding the tool. You can hold it like a pencil, and that's fine, but sometimes your hand will get tired, and it's nice to change the grip. So I like to put it between my fingers like this, and now push down with my thumb. I can get a lot of power out of my thumb, and it doesn't matter if you're hitting the holes from an angle on the side or from the top. Makes no difference since the tool is round. So here's my embossed design, right side up on the black paper. Let's take that out of the way since we're done with the black paper. I'm going to mount this on a piece of blue cover stock. An easy way to do this is to use poster tape. I think they call it removable tape now. So I'm just taping this on the back. I'm going to peel this off. And I want to just stick it down on this board to use as a guide for placing my vellum over the top. Now I'm going to put another little piece of double-sided tape on the front here, lift off the backing, wear it out just a little bit since we're working with the thin vellum. Now my cutting board can help me center this design on the paper, like so. Press down and carefully peel this up and trim this. So I just want to trim it, I'll say about a 1/2 inch all the way around. Now I have it trimmed, and what I want to do is fold each side of the vellum around this blue paper. So I fold on the top, on the bottom and the top, and I'm going to unfold and do that again on the bottom and also on the top. And I'm going to unfold that again, and now where I have these lines that will help guide me, I'm going to make a nice little miter on the corner, crease it down, do it on the next corner over, also crease it down, and now I can fold this piece over, like so. So I'm going to take these out of the way with this folded down, and remember I have a piece of tape under here. I can't tell you how many times I have forgotten to take the tape out. It's not the end of the world, but it will show. So now that my tape is out of the way, I can go back to my wrapping. There's my first side. I like to use Scotch tape to hold it down. There's no glue to dry, and it sticks really well with the vellum. So it's simple, and it gets the job done, just the way I like it. Fold these other corners over. And fold the side over, and tape all the way around. By the way, the paper I'm using both for my backing and my card is 80-pound cover stock. Here I'm using a piece of turquoise paper. And another handy thing you can do with your embossing tool is to use it as a scoring tool. Works very well. So now I'm just going to score this card in the center and fold it. Now I put our little design on a piece of the same color paper, so that way you know you can't go wrong color-wise. And I put a piece of white cover stock behind it, so I could do just like that, very simple, straightforward card. You could also perhaps add another color, like gold, and here I stick it down onto the gold and then put the gold onto the turquoise, which is very nice. You could also use a different color background, like this. It's actually a very light blue, and that comes out very nice as well. So you can dress it up as much as you want. If you like, you can also make a small gift card with it. Here are a few other things I've made with this technique of just wrapping the vellum around a backing. Here, this has a stamped image that is underneath the vellum, and here is my embossed part with a white backing on a small card. This technique is wonderful for making frames, and I've cut a piece of cover stock to be the frame, and I've embossed on the vellum and wrapped it around the frame that I cut. So here it is a little closer so that you can see the embossing. Here's another card with the same idea. The vellum is wrapped around a backing. This time I've cut the backing in the shape of a heart. And instead of wrapping around the heart, I have actually wrapped around this piece of pink matching cover stock, and over it is a piece of white cover stock, and over that is the piece of pink cover stock in the heart shape, and the vellum is wrapped around the whole thing, and then it's mounted onto a card.